Now, Erica, Hawley, we're into 2020 and obviously an Olympic year. What's in store for you this year, being just that, an Olympic year?
Yeah, I mean, that always adds a lot of extra everything. You know, everyone focuses on the Olympics and talks about the Olympics. It's like it's a huge event. For me, I've kind of started laying out my race schedule. As it's January, it's kind of looming soon on what races I need to do. But yeah, I'm just going and training really hard in Bermuda for these 2 weeks, and then go back to school. And I'll still be in university all leading up to it. I'm more racing a couple of World Cups, which is what you have to race World Cups and WTS to qualify for your Olympics. And my target to like really perform like well is 2024. That's like my main goal. Not saying that 2020 is out of the picture. It's just more of if it happens. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Goal.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what my whole
Right. When you look at how things have progressed for you over the years, starting out and now to university and being able to compete in WTS events and World Cup events, did you foresee it when you started getting going?
No, I used to talk about it with my mom when I was like 12 or something. I was in the UK and we like watched like a junior race, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could like never do this. And like looking back, and it's only a few, like 8 years later or whatever. So it's kind of crazy, like the progression, how it goes. But I think last year was my first year of real like lull, and I didn't have a very good season, and that was like my first kind of like bad year. So it was really tricky, and like mentally and physically it was really like tough and demanding when it like doesn't go like how you want it to go. But after I raced in November, so that was like a good tester to kind of see where I'm at in Chile, and I like refound my love for it, you know what I mean? Like it was great to race again, and it's like I know it's something that I want to do, so it's still like a stepping stone. Like it doesn't happen in 1 year, and it's just a continual progression. And yeah, when you look at it, obviously everyone has those disappointing moments. A race doesn't go as well as planned, although you've put everything right, it just doesn't work out on the day. So how have you mentally worked out that challenge, because it can get one down for sure. if you've hit all your marks and it don't work out? I mean, for me, the mental side really got me this year, and it was really tough to try to get through that, and it took a lot of like talking with my coach, especially, and some more like people that support you. That was like the main thing that kind of got me through it, and like belief in myself. I knew that even if that was a bad season, it didn't, or a couple of bad races, it didn't like define who I was. And yeah, I kind of looked at the bigger picture again and realized like I'm at university and taking 15 credits a week, or 15 credits in the semester, and it's hard to be able to like be where I want to be whilst I'm at school. So I've kind of decided and like re-looked at my season this year and decided to race more like continental cups early on, so I can like be able to balance it and not be completely like torn apart when I'm racing like a WTS and like people are doing it full time, and I just don't have that luxury right now, which is completely fine because I love university and I want to get my degree, and there's different.
Right. When last year you were fortunate enough to be working with the WTS's development group. How much fun was that, and getting to be around people your peers, your age, and just working through those small challenges?
It was honestly amazing. I mean, I'm lucky because I have like Tyler Smith from Bermuda as well, and we're like the same age and race some of the same races, so it's nice that I have him sometimes, but I'm not all the time, you know what I mean? So it was nice to be a part of the ITU development squad, because they just have like complete support support for you, and like at races they offer you like coaching, and they there's so many like behind the scenes that like leading up to the race, which you kind of just forget how hard it is, just like getting places and going to eat, and like on race day, like what do you do with your bag if like you have no one else with you type thing. So it was nice to have all of that support, and you meet a lot of new people, right? So it's nice to be able to talk and make friends with people who are kind of in similar situations to you. And I can work on my Spanish because most of the people are from South America, which is really great. But I've really met like a lot of friends, and it's nice to just be able to like talk about triathlon and like be in like a similar position, because like I have a lot of friends in the US and I can talk with them and stuff, but like I'm still like not like an outsider, but like when I go to a race, they still have like their team things. So it's nice to be like in a different team, be a part of that. Right.
When you look back at the event in the Pan American Games in Peru, little disappointed with your performance overall, but then a good friend of yours actually wins the race. What was that conversation like after? I mean, once all the emotion of, I'm disappointed in how I performed, but I'm glad that, what was that talk like?
I never really talked with her personally, kind of how it went. I think she's my teammate, so I was like training with her every day, and I knew how much she deserved. She came second in the end. Right. How much she deserved it. For me, I knew that like it was so rewarding, because not only do I train with her, I know that like the team atmosphere and like my coach like are doing the right thing. You know what I mean? So like I saw her success and I knew that like I will get there. Right. So that's kind of how I more approach the situation. But yeah, I was so proud of her.
Not at that.
Yeah, but like it's cool because I used to race with her like 3 years ago, and she dropped like 3 minutes on a 10K in her run in like 3 years. Like she's always been an insane swimmer, but you can just kind of see like the progression. Right. So like, yeah, like 3 years ago we'd be racing like Conti Cup together, and she's from Brazil, and like we would like run about the same, but like it's crazy how much like she's grown and like changed in like just a matter of a few years. Like she's came fourth at the Olympic test event, like it's crazy. But
when you look at Bermuda, this will be year 3 of hosting a WTS event in the sport that you're in. The unfortunate thing is you haven't had an opportunity to race at such a prestigious event on local soil. Your thoughts on Bermuda hosting such an event and then not being a part of it on the inside of the track as opposed to being on the outside?
I know as well. Like this year, I don't even know. I probably won't race it, unfortunately. Just for me, it's just not ready. But if we have it in 2021, that would be like a dream come true, especially because it would be the world champs, and it might be my last year of under 23, so it'd be like a perfect opportunity to like really race amazingly. And I'll be full-time then, and like I have like big aspirations for that one. But I was here in Bermuda spectating the first year, and that's when Flora won it, and she just led the whole thing from start to finish. So it's just like amazing to just be a part of it. You kind of like you feel success through like other people, and like it was cool to see like Bermuda unite. I mean, I know everyone that I talked to in like the race circuit said like Bermuda was like one of like their favorite locations, and like the atmosphere was insane, which it was. I remember being on Front Street and everyone were like in the bars like yelling, and like it was very cool too, because like for the women's event there was more like cheer, I mean, I know it's Flora, but that's always something that like we're looking for in sport. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope to be there in 2021.
Could the sport be a lonely one at times, especially when you're doing major events and you're out on the road? I mean, even if you're cycling with a group, not much talk is going on, or other than you attack, or it can it be a lonely sport at times
in the event, like whilst racing? I never really think of it as lonely. I think it always goes by really quickly, fortunately enough. When
and a bit goes by.
I know. When I like spectate, I'm like, wow, this is so boring sometimes. Like you see them like one's like speed past.
Yeah.
But when I'm racing, I always try to like think about like position or like
Right.
one thing like to focus on, like whilst I'm on the run, like focus on like a specific part, like look forward or like, you know, like knees or whatever.
Right.
So I feel like my mind's always like focused on the event where I'm not really like.
What would you say are your best conditions to race in? Some warm, cold?
Yeah.
What?
I try and not like say I'm better at one thing or the other because I don't want to like limit. I think each race, no matter if like the weather or whatnot, like holds its like challenges. Preferably, like one thing I know that I prefer is like a calm swim rather than like a choppy one. But that's just something that I have to work on. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that was a big wave you had to dive into to start off. And
Yeah, I know, and for real.
Yeah, that would have knocked anybody at your time of getting in. I was like, okay,
It was cold too. It was freezing.
Right,
Oh my
right.
gosh.
So you've picked a handful of events for this year, but you target 2024 as your Olympics. If 20 happens, it happens.
Exactly.
But you say next year you'll be full time, so pretty much 2022 you're looking at Commonwealth, and then obviously again Pan Americans, CACs, and then into the Olympics.
Yeah.
All right.
We're kind of looking right. It's funny right now. I'm talking with my coach and certain people about like the 4-year plan. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yes,
Like, so I have big goals and whatnot.
Right. You know what's funny? A lot of people will say, "But Erica's been performing for a long time. What do you mean she's only 20? It seems like she's been performing for 8-10 years. And
Yeah.
what do you mean 2024? That's 4 years away." So just to let people know that you are still young.
Yeah.
Most people, and we could use the Flora Tyler as a benchmark. They didn't go in until they were in their 20s as well.
Yeah,
So.
I know, and like I think it just really like hones in on like it's a long-term plan. It's not just like I'm gonna do it and then not. There's like I want to be in it for the long run, and I think that in triathlon especially, a lot of people are older, which is like interesting. You know, like experience goes a long way. Even though I've been doing it for 4 years, like or
just getting
however many
started.
years.
Yeah.
Just getting started.
Yeah.
So
You're still a baby in the sport.
Yeah, I know. People sometimes are like, wait, what? You're already like 21? Like, so, I mean, some people that I race against, you know,
Right.
30s, so, yeah.
All right, well, good luck this year.
Thank you.
I look forward to you out there competing, enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
Regardless of the performance, it's just one other stepping stone
I
to
know.
getting you to where you want to be.
Exactly.
All right?
Thank you so
Have
much.
a good year.
Thanks.
Okay.